Find other great podcasts like this one at podmoth.network.
Hey there, fellow true crime aficionados. We're the host of Bad Acts, a true crime podcast. I'm Danielle.
And I'm Aaron.
Join us every Thursday for twisted true crime tales of dark deeds and despicable people. We focus on lesser-known, unique stories with a new case each week. We've covered family annihilators, cannibals, revenge killings, killer kids, mysterious murders, survivor stories, and much more. We've even tackled stories of people who blamed zombies, vampires, ghosts, and voodoo for their bad acts.
Of course, we know they're the only ones to blame. You can find us everywhere you get your podcast, or you can visit our website at badactspod.com.
If you like fresh stories and new perspectives on crime, Bad Acts will be your new jam. Join Bad Acts every Thursday. Stay safe, y'all.
See you soon.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Cryptid Cocktail Party, a show where we have a few drinks, share a few laughs, take a dive into the unknown. I'm your host, Dave, and today I'm joined once again by Jamie Hurley. How's it going, bud?
Hey, brother. Good to talk to you again.
Yeah, you're looking good.
Well, that's nice, but that's a lie. So I appreciate the the sentiment.
No, you wear homeless chic well. Not many people can pull it off.
I'm like a Rick Rubin. That's
dude. Holy fuck, dude!
Like, but just with way less money and success,
dude. I didn't even put that together. But if you had a pair of just big old shades on,
oh yeah,
that is young Rick Rubin if I've ever seen one.
And if I was balding more and my hair was just going out to this and wearing like a dirty old stained t-shirt, which I basically am.
Yeah, dude, for a man who is very rich, why does he look like he just woke up from a frat party every single time I see him? Like, it is not like he's not.
Because when you're rich, you can do whatever the fuck you want. You got no one to report to.
That's it. So I found out, that's the one thing I found about rich people is that there's rich people and there's people who want to show that they have money. People that want to show that they have money but aren't really rich, they wear a lot of big old Gucci bullshit all this time. You know what I mean? But rich people wear the most basic dumb shit you've ever no name, just it's a polo. It just looks like a polo and it's $900, but it's not.
It's not even that. Like, we were talking about this earlier. Like, one of my wealthiest friends in probably the entire state or has wears shirts, flannel shirts he bought at Costco and shit like that, and still works in the mud and dirt every day with
that's how you that's how you save the money.
Yeah, you don't get rich by spending your money.
Well, I mean, it depends.
If you spend it,
you buy gold. There's always money in gold. If I learned anything from listening to Alex Jones, that there's money.
Invest in frogs and gold.
And there's always money in the banana stand.
It's true. Just hide your money from the government.
That's really what it is. It's just you can buy clothes from wherever you want. Just make sure that you're not writing. You just don't put it on paper that it's there.
Exactly. Just make sure the government knows nothing about it.
Yeah, that's really all it takes. So this is Jamie Hurley's Financial Hour. Would you have any more financial advice for our listeners? Don't let the government know about your money.
Don't let the government know about your money. Vote locally. Operate your business as a 501c3 wherever possible.
Yeah,
because people just get away with murder doing that.
Also incorporate in Delaware.
Yep. Delaware is another massive tax haven.
Yeah. And
when you step up to that real big boy status, you go to Luxembourg. Luxembourg basically solely sold. I forgot it was even a country for a long time. I thought it was just a city.
All right. So Luxembourg, I feel like I just watched a documentary about dog, the world's wealthiest dog.
Yeah, really?
And then it turns out that the dog was basically just a shell company thing for some lady who was laundering money or something. Dude, I don't know. Because it was in Luxembourg. That's the only reason why I remember that.
No shit.
Anyways, basically the keys are commit tax fraud, no gods, no masters, no GOP.
Amen, brother.
Jamie, let me ask you a question.
Sure.
How you been sleeping lately, bud?
Horribly.
Yeah.
I've been up since 1 a.m. I took a quick nap this afternoon for a little bit.
Okay.
But my sleep schedule's just been all messed up because I haven't been able to work too much with this broken wrist. But yeah.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that. But
it's all right. I'll survive.
The reason why I ask is because I don't know if you've ever experienced it, but it's something I've experienced a lot dating, like ever since like high school. But have you ever experienced sleep paralysis?
Yes, I have. As a matter of fact, I've experienced it 3 times exactly.
Exactly. So you remember, so you specifically remember every single time.
I know exactly. And it's one of them. I specifically remember every single time. And it's one of the most, if not the most terrifying things
100%
I've ever experienced in my life.
So can you recall any time specifically, like what happened during them, or is it always the same every time?
No, it's different every time. But I can remember it, especially the second time. It actually traumatized me so much. I couldn't even speak to anyone, my partner and
hold
my
on.
roommates.
Before you tell this story, because I want you to tell the story if you don't mind.
Yeah, I'll tell you. Yeah.
You don't know what we're talking about on this episode, right?
I have no idea.
I
literally hit me up an hour ago and was like, hey, you want to be a guest on the podcast today? And I was like, yeah.
Because if you tell this story and if it somehow coincides with the story I'm going to tell you today, I will fucking lose my shit.
If it does, man, we're on a whole different plane that we don't even
God. All right.
know about.
So the second time you got sleep paralysis, you said it traumatized you so much you couldn't speak to anyone about it. Are you comfortable speaking about it to me on the show?
Yes.
In front of the tens of people that
No, it was I couldn't speak to my partner, and my roommate were there at the time after it happened, and it took me about 3 hours or so till I could even just start talking to them.
Oh yeah,
other than maybe one word, sentence fragments.
Oh, you mean during the sleep paralysis?
No, not during.
Oh, just after. So that's how much it fucked you up. Is that you were just so horrified that you couldn't say anything? That's I don't like that. Continue.
It was I guess the best way to call it is a rewaking dream state.
Yeah.
So essentially the dream I was having, I was waking up in what looked like in my room, exactly like my room, in my bed, my exact room, exact apartment.
Yeah.
And I would wake up and then something absolutely horrible and terrifying would happen.
Yeah.
It could or I started going about my day and in the dream still.
Yeah.
And nothing was wrong, but then I would snap back to waking up in my bed again.
Okay.
And when it came to the end, I was trying to it sounds weird, but I've always had the ability to usually wake myself up from a dream.
Yeah,
especially
it's
if you're lucid dreaming.
Lucid dreaming, yeah. It's where you're in a dream, but you're aware you're in a dream, so you kind of have more of control of what's going on.
Yeah, you can kind of snap yourself out of it a little bit. And I remember not being able to do that.
Yeah.
And that was when I was fully awake. So the last thing that messed me up so much, it was a re-waking dream. I don't know how many times I was waking up in my own bed.
Yeah.
But the last one that freaked me out so much was there were it was not a zombie thing is the closest I can kind of say to it. This man and woman were banging on my door. That I had that I had pushed my desk in front of, and they finally broke through the door, and I'm cowering.
Cowering.
Yeah,
cowering.
cowering in my living room, and they both just like finally looked in the door and like slammed their heads like on the desk. And that was blocking the door. And then I finally woke up. But when I woke up for real, I thought I was still in the reoccurring dream.
Oh.
So I was just absolutely terrified.
Yeah, that would do it to me too. Just not knowing what's real and what's not.
Yeah. And that fucked me up. That was the most fucked up one.
Yeah, no, that's so I guess so for listeners who don't know, but first of all, that sounds fucked up. I've had sleep paralysis too, and I never really experienced anything like terrifying, I guess. I experienced it a lot actually. And the thing is weird is that at this point now I know when it's happening, because it is one of those things where your body just kind of, you can't move, but you can open your eyes and you can't talk or scream. But I got to this point where like now I know when it's happening, and you just put yourself back into sleep and then wake yourself back up. Cause you get an idea of when it's like, what's going on. Like, cause it initially panic sets in and you're like, fuck this.
Yeah, of course.
But for the people listening, sleep paralysis is a condition that for like hundreds of years baffled scientists. And it wasn't until actually like the 20th century when the medical and scientific community really got a good grasp for what it was. Basically what it is, sleep paralysis is like a glitch in your brain. So during the REM stage of sleep, your brain paralyzes the body. So this is like to stop you from falling off the bed, flailing around, or acting out parts of your dreams that could potentially hurt you or like other people around you. So it's like the opposite of sleepwalking, because in sleepwalking, your body doesn't put you in that state. That's why you're free to like move around, and like some people fucking murder people when they're like in a sleepwalking state.
That's wild.
It's like, it's the opposite of that. It's when you awake, your brain is awake, but your body's not. Normally the body will switch off this part of the brain as you start to like wake up. But not in the case of sleep paralysis, because your brain can be a real asshole sometimes, which I'm sure a lot of people struggle with mental health. Like, no.
Yeah.
But for some, that switch isn't flipped right away. So your body remains paralyzed while you're waking up. And it is fucking terrifying, as you have rightly pointed out. Now, what also can happen is, since you're stuck in a sort of limbo state between being fully asleep and fully awake, the real world and your dream world can intersect, causing you to see things in the room that you're in that aren't really there. It always seems to be something horrifying too. It's always like a demon or some sort of fucked up being. Like, I don't think I've ever heard anyone like tell a sleep paralysis story where they're like, yeah, dude, fucking I had sleep paralysis last night and then my room was full of like golden retriever puppies or something.
That is never any single person every single person that I've talked to, it's always something terrifying.
Yeah, it's never something good. Like
to them, it's not like, oh, it's awesome, I woke up and I was in like the Playboy Mansion or something like that. And it's like, oh no.
It's never something good. It's not like, yeah, dude, I woke up with my eyes, but I couldn't move my body. But you know, there's a bunch of big titted goth bitches around me.
Yeah, no,
it's never like, that.
It's like there's people trying to kill you, or crazy monsters, or just whatever your mind can manifest. Like the last time it happened to me was actually somewhat recently, a couple months ago.
Yeah.
And it wasn't as terrifying, but I was still experiencing it. I woke up, I fell asleep on the couch the night before, and I woke up trying to call my partner's name, and I was like, Allie.
And you couldn't actually do it.
I couldn't do it, but I knew I was awake. I knew I was experiencing sleep paralysis, but I still couldn't do anything about it, which is still just outright terrifying.
Yeah,
am I paralyzed and all that works for my?
Did I fuck up my spine? You slept on a couch, so your spine could have been fucked up. Unless you have a really comfy couch. I don't know. I've only sat on it like once or twice.
It is comfy. We actually bought a new couch for the first time in my adult life.
Look at you balling out of control. You didn't find it on the side of the road.
That Kyle Kinane bit. You know, where he's talking about cops and like a party for a new couch.
Yep. No, I know. Oh, fuck. But Now, it was because of this that people and cultures that's a great segue, by the way. Just me going straight back into the script. Yeah. No, it was because of this that people and cultures all over the world, before we really understood what was happening, it attributed sleep paralysis to all sorts of entities, or like black magic curses to kind of make sense of what's going on. You had the jinn or genie of Egypt. They thought was responsible for it. The Turkish believed in a spirit called the Karabasan. I don't know how to,
I should know that, but I don't either.
It's fine. The indigenous peoples of South Africa had a dwarf-like water entity that they called Taka. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. Takalashi. Does that sound
okay?
All right.
I should know that as well.
It's fine.
I'm a man of many cultures, but
probably the most famous term, I guess, or being would be like the incubus or the succubus.
Yes.
If you're familiar with those.
I am familiar with those stories.
Yeah. So sleep paralysis, obviously around the world, people just kind of had different experiences. They also saw different things, but within those cultures, they kind of all saw the same thing. Sleep paralysis is also a reason why a lot of people, think alien abduction is.
Yeah.
Because it always starts the same way. I'm laying in bed. I wake up. I can't move. My eyes are open. And then they see these beings around them. So there's kind of that mixed in as well. But if you hadn't noticed, all these different cultures, like I said, had different spirits, demons, or monsters with different descriptions and characteristics for what they believed and what they saw. But there is one sleep paralysis spirit, demon thing, whatever you want to call it, that has been seen by people of varying cultures and races all over the world. And their description of it being almost exactly the same in every instance. And that spirit is known simply as the Hat Man.
Hat Man.
Are you familiar with the Hat Man?
I'm not familiar with the Hat Man. And just to go back to the very beginning, like you said, we didn't plan this at all. Are we actually going to talk about sleep paralysis?
Yeah.
In this?
Yeah.
That's really weird. All right. Now that's kind of freaking me out. Because I don't even know. I think I've told you once in passing, like years and years ago.
If you did, I do not remember.
Yeah, that's bizarre.
Yeah,
that's
you gotta love when a plan comes together.
I just want to touch on that for a second. That's really bizarre because you even said I'm going to be freaked out if you mention what.
Well, so this is specifically about a sleep paralysis entity that people have seen that they all share it's the same fucking spirit, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So the Hat Man is a malevolent entity described as being anywhere between 6 to 10 feet tall. And I am uncertain if this is including or like sans hat. It's like one of those deals where it's like I'm 5'7", but I'm 5'9" in heels type deal.
Yeah.
Like, he's like, yeah, I'm
6.
I'm 6 foot, but I'm 10 foot in hats.
You can never.
He's got one
turn down a good top hat.
He's got one of those fucking. Do you remember Fairly Odd Parents and Doug Dimmadome of the Dimsdale Dimmadome?
No, not really.
Oh, God damn it. He had like a 5 foot tall hat. But yeah.
It's peacocking. It's peacocking.
But yeah, described as being anywhere between 6 to 10 feet tall, with most sightings reporting the latter of him being around 8 to 10 feet tall, which makes it so that he's forced to crouch in unnatural ways. He's seen wearing a trench coat like jacket or a long cape of some kind, and of course a hat. Now the hat changes depending on the encounter, but it's always a very noticeably brimmed hat, kind of like a gaucho, a fedora, or like a top hat. And it's always been reported that he has a golden pocket watch, which he'll check from time to time, which I don't know why. But in an article I found on huntakiller.com, they put it as it suggests that he's sticking around long enough to be curious about the time, which is fucking terrifying. And then they also raised the question asking that maybe it could be a prop used for mockery, suggesting to his victims that he has all the time in the world, which is even more terrifying.
Yeah, that's right. Does this happen to, I know you said it came from everywhere, but is there anything in relation? This kind of sounds like something I'm barely familiar with from like Southern French stuff in Louisiana?
No,
In the U.S.
all over.
Okay.
There's no specific. Are you thinking of fucking
there's a million names for, I want to say it's like Papa something, or
Papa Legba?
they got like the big top hat and
Yeah, it's Papa Legba.
like, yeah,
But it's not Papa Legba. And
Okay.
we'll get into the reasons why. Now, people have seen the Hat Man always describing as being just a silhouette. But unlike other shadow people sightings, I don't know if you're familiar with shadow people. I'm assuming you probably kind of are.
Vaguely.
Yeah. He's solid. So it's the silhouette of him is very crisp. Like motherfucker's in 8K. But like it's still a shadow.
3D instead of just, something on the wall.
But this is the shadow is much darker. It's like darker than dark. Like if you're in a dark room, this is darker somehow. And it's super fucking evil, and I hate it. For those who have seen the Hat Man, it's mostly reported that he never actually attempts to attack or cause any physical harm. There are some reports of him jumping on top of his victims or being choked by him, but those are very few and very far between. What most people believe he wants from you is something just a little more sinister. Do you know what that is?
I think so. Is he trying to?
He wants that booty hole.
Oh,
No,
that whole choking thing though, and sitting on the chest, that's common for people that have suffered sleep paralysis.
Yeah, so that is a very common thing for sleep paralysis. There's always a feeling of weight on your chest, and
Yeah.
I don't know if that has to do with the actual paralysis part of it. Like it might have to do with just not being able to feel it or like move it. Like you feel like it's really heavy, or because you're probably experiencing crazy anxiety. And I don't know I'm sure you have, but I'm sure anyone who's listening who has a panic attack knows that when you have a panic attack, it feels like your heart, like you're someone standing on your chest.
Yeah,
So
it feels like you're gonna die when you have a severe panic attack. You're like, this is it, but it's more mental than physical most of the time.
So when the Hat Man comes to pay a visit, it always starts the same. The victim wakes up, unable to move, unable to scream. The only thing they can do is open and then move their eyes. Now, once the victim is in this state, they feel as if they're not alone and start being overcome with anxiety and fear. And that's when they finally notice him. So there in the corner of the room, the Hat Man just stands watching his victim. They say they feel like evil emanating from him, like it comes in waves. And while he never physically harms you, it's almost as though you can feel his desire to, like he's physically or like psychically putting that thought into your head, if that makes sense. Like he wants you to think he's going to hurt you.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
No, that does make sense. I mean, I feel like in any sort of, I've never experienced the Hat Man. I've had like weird recurring dreams since I was a kid. But
Yeah.
No, that makes a lot of sense. I feel like, especially in your most basic instincts are fight or flight.
Yeah.
So if you're in a dream state, I feel like where your body says, get away from here, and you can't do that, that's absolutely terrifying.
Yeah. It sounds like what would you call it? A nightmare.
Yeah.
Yeah. But Jamie, you might be asking yourself, why? What's the point of making you so overcome with dread, almost to the point where you feel like your heart is going to explode? And why does he never act on the desire you feel from him that he wants to harm you? Is that how you're feeling?
Oh man, that's such a deep question. I could probably rant for like 4 hours on this.
That's fine. I got the answer.
But I don't know. What do they say? What do they say? I'm putting my trust in Wikipedia or.
Whoa. Do you think I got my information from Wikipedia, bro?
Hell no.
I got this shit from TikTok.
Oh, good. Okay. Then we're good. We're good.
Well, the answer to all your questions that you didn't ask that I asked for you is pretty simple. Is that he feeds off of it. Now,
all right.
Once again, going back to the Hunt to Killer article, They say that he implements the, quote, look, don't touch method because it creates a heady brew of confusion, anticipation, and fear in his subject that he can then feed off of. This may be the main purpose of the Hat Man's visit. The bedrooms of his victims are like his charging station, if that makes sense.
Oh, wow. Yeah. So he's like a weird creeper who like they always said people in like the 60s and 70s would climb up trees and look through your windows and like beat off watching people change.
Yeah, he's like that, but he thrives off the fear of you.
Yeah.
Now, unlike your run-of-the-mill, boilerplate, boring-ass shadow person or sleep paralysis demon that simply like fade away or suddenly vanish once it's time to go, the Hat Man uses a different approach. Once the Hat Man decides he's done mind-fucking you for your fear and figures it's time to bounce, he uses the door like a gentleman. But
I've never had anyone do that to me and use the door like a gentleman.
but also it shows a level of not only physicality, but also control that most shadow people don't normally have. Same thing with paralysis demons. So now at this point, you're probably wondering, where did the Hat Man come from? What the fuck is it? Now, this is when you ask me, where did it come from? What the fuck is it?
Where did the Hat Man come from, Dave? I don't know why I did that in like a Beavis and Butthead accent.
I loved it. Oh, shit. Well, the Hat Man has become sort of a meme on TikTok and places like 4chan and gaining popularity in only the past couple years. Like, I'm sure you've seen the memes or like t-shirts going around that say like, I can't take Benadryl anymore because I owe the Hat Man money and I don't want to see him.
I honestly don't. I haven't really seen anything about the Hat Man, but I remember Slender Man, but it's probably a different thing. Well, that's maybe similar.
Well, that's also a thing too. It did kind of gain notoriety the same way. Slender Man was a creepypasta. It actually started on a Photoshop Friday on, I think it's somethingawful.com or something like that.
Okay.
There have been,
I have no idea.
There have been creepypastas about the Hat Man that maybe has kind of helped it along, but it doesn't matter. But it's actually been going on for quite some time, way before TikTok and 4chan and Reddit got wind of it. In 2001, Timothy Brown Jr. started the Hat Man Project. And this is 7 years after having an encounter himself in 1994 while living with his grandmother and great-grandmother in Nashville, Tennessee. And since starting the project, he's received thousands of stories from all over the world. He's even in the process of writing a book on the subject. So while it's gained popularity on social media only recently, it's something that has been going on for like a really long time. Now, I don't know how far back the stories that get sent in to him go, but I know that his story at least is from 1994. So I'm sure there's stories on there that go back further of the Hat Man.
Oh, it's got to.
Right.
It's got to. And, you know, it could be just hearing about it and reminding yourself about it obviously puts it into your memory bank, and your brain is one of the most powerful quote unquote computers.
Yeah, fair enough.
You know, and then it just accesses that weird part of your brain. You know, I wish we knew more about like neuroscience and stuff like that, but
I did. Well, I'll tell this at the end of the thing. Hold on. I got something kind of along that. As for what the Hat Man is, it said that the Hat Man visits households where there's a lot of turmoil, or he visits before, during, or after traumatic events. Almost like a poltergeist in a sense. Like, you know how poltergeist kind of like poltergeist.
Or a cop.
Yeah,
could be a cop.
Well, no,
the Hat Man showed up during a tumultuous event between mom.
Well, they usually show up 4 hours after.
Yeah.
The trauma or the tumultuous event.
Especially in Philly.
Yeah.
They ain't coming quick anytime soon.
So some ufologists think that the Hat Man, like other shadow people, is an alien species, or at the very least interdimensional beings here to observe us. Now, what kind of data they're collected by being a fucking nightmare is beyond me, but hey, what the fuck do I know?
Yeah, it's kind of hard to collect interdimensional data.
I don't know.
while you're sleeping after drinking like a 12-pack of Michelob Ultra.
We're not collecting the data. The interdimensional beings are collecting the data on us. Somehow,
right, that's legit. That's fine.
It might be somehow useful to terrify us in our wake sleep state. I don't know. Others say that it's a demon, an evil spirit, but the real answer is usually the most obvious, in that it's just a hallucination caused by sleep paralysis or waking dreams, known clinically as terrifying, hypnagogic, terrifying, hypnagogic hallucinations. I'm not having a stroke. This is what it is.
All right. I just wanted to make sure.
Now, this is where when a person wakes up and sees images of people trying to cause them harm, demons, or warped images of animals, along with auditory hallucinations. But whatever the case, the fact that so many people have seen the same man for so many years is like the one part of the phenomena that no one can really explain, and makes the whole thing kind of fucking terrifying. So is it real? Is it all in our minds? A ghost, a demon? I don't know. But there you have it. That's a very brief history of the Hat Man.
The Hat Man, if it's anything, what I experienced during sleep paralysis when you're actually seeing stuff, is one of the most terrifying things ever.
Yeah.
And I've had guns pulled on me in public.
So what do you think about the Hat Man?
The Hat Man, I kind of like the Hat Man right now.
Yeah?
You're
getting vibes from him?
Because everything's going so crazy in my life at this point in time. If the Hat Man shows up, that's I guess that's a good thing. Like, I don't know. I'll be like, Hat Man, what you got going for me?
It's the least of your worries. You're like, bud, come on.
Yeah, I'm like, Hat Man, dude. I've been like sick for 6 months. I got to get wrist surgery. Hat Man, what's up? What you got?
Fucking take me, bro.
What you got? And now
he's got money. He's got money. You know he does. Yeah, he's got a top hat and a gold watch. Fucking borrow money from him. Hit him up.
Hook you up. He's like the Monopoly guy. You just got to get a little bit from him.
Exactly.
But, then I realize, if that's the worst of my problems, then shit, I guess I'm doing okay. But the Hat Man can still scare the shit out of you. But I've been to a bunch of therapists and psychiatry.
Yeah, you look like it.
Things. Oh, duh. I actually minored in psychology in college.
Oh, is that why you're all fucked up now?
Obviously, no. But the more you talk about it and the more you kind of deal with those scary things and approach it head first, like dare your anxiety and fears to try to hurt you. You basically say, okay,
don't do that.
Ahead.
People have actually been scared to death. Don't do that.
physically hurt me. Bring it on. Like, I know you can't do anything to me. Like, go ahead, do your worst. Like,
so go full Zach Baggins on it when he's trying to fight a ghost on Ghost Adventures.
I wish I had tried to fight a ghost,
dude. All right, Jamie. Well, that is the episode. Thank you so much for coming on. I don't know if you have anything going on that you want to plug. I don't know if you're playing any music lately. You got anything going on?
So, people who don't know about our little tiny town in Dover, New Hampshire, the high school I went to, St. Thomas Aquinas, has just recently, just before the end of the school year, let go 4 staff members, teachers that have been working there for 20 to 30 years, all of them, just for the sole reason of being openly gay or an ally to the LGBTQ community. I'm very happy to say, as awful as that is, there's been a lot of people that have been supporting them and backing them. Other teachers have resigned in protest.
You mean people backing the teachers, not the school?
Yes.
Okay.
Backing the school is a nightmare. I went there and I had great teachers at the school. Some of these teachers taught me. It's very upsetting for me. Basically, the school has become a Christo-fascist, crazy nonsense type of school. And many teachers have resigned in protest. Students are pulling out and walking out. The school has been failing, but it's just sad to see that this type of hatred and bigotry is happening, you know, just not in my backyard, but all over the country. And it's just let people be who they want to be. And there's something, if you want to follow this, it's called hashtag Saints Shame. And a lot of people are making active movements about what has happened. And the more people that know about it, it's probably happening in your own backyard too. It can only help, you know, just supporting our fellow humans, regardless of what they identify as. And we need that more than ever right now. Let people be, let people live. And I guess that's all I have to say about that. How was that? It was very well. How'd you like my Forrest Gump impression right there?
No, it was very well. It was very well said. So if you want to follow along with that story, you can find out about it. You said there was a article written about it in the Boston Globe. It is super fucked up, especially doing that like now. Like
the kids literally graduated today and had the ceremony today. So there'll be more stuff in the news. They hired police to come and not let the kids talk to reporters and things like that. It's a whole mess.
Yeah, it's not ideal. And it does suck to hear that coming from a place where I grew up. You know what I mean? New Hampshire and Dover, it hasn't always been the most politically correct town or state, but we always had a good heart, and I feel like this stuff never really happened. No, we were talking earlier at Dover High School. Our senior, one of the senior yearbook things was a lesbian couple, and the fucking Westboro Baptist Church came and protested our school, and we drove them away. Like, we always stood up for our own. To hear this happening in my own backyard. Well, not now, I live in Philly, but you know what I mean? Like, it's,
oh no, you're still here.
It breaks my heart, and it's really fucked up.
It's good to hear though that there's so many people supporting it.
Yeah.
Like this private Facebook group gained about 1,000 followers within a week, pretty much. And there's letters going out to, you know, the archdiocese and the bishop and the school and the board and all that stuff. And it's just unacceptable. Like, I hated high school, but some of these people who educated me I realized, especially once I grew older, were the best people and educators.
They shaped you into who you are.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Jamie, thank you for telling your truth. I don't know if that's the right word. Maybe.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Well, what are words, Dave?
I don't know. We're coming up on almost an hour. This episode's so fucking long.
Oh yeah, you're gonna have to edit this shit out of this one.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna cut down. I'm gonna cut down this whole thing. No one's gonna know about St. Thomas Aquinas. No, I'm just kidding. All right. Well, Jamie, thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate it. You're the best. I love you.
Love you, brother.
Make sure you follow us on Instagram at Cryptid Cocktail. Follow me on TikTok at Cryptid Cocktail Party. If you want to support the show, there's a link in the episode description. You can donate whatever you want to the show. I think that's it. So with that, I'll say thank you for listening and goodbye. Jamie, say bye to the people.
Bye.